In this video, we will investigate the idea of a function in a more formal way. At the beginning of Module 3, Investigation 2, we see a box that provides a definition of a function. This function definition has three parts. The domain is a collection of all of the values the input quantity, or the independent quantity, may assume. The range is a collection of all of the values the output quantity, or the dependent quantity, may assume. And the function rule must assign each value of the input quantity to exactly one and only one, value of the output quantity. For example, consider P with respect to S. According to the definition, P of S equals 3S squared minus 7. S is the independent quantity. P of S is the dependent quantity, and the rule is 3 times s squared minus 7. This rule sends each input quantity s to only one output quantity. For example, if we let s equal 4, the rule will only produce one answer, which is 41. Therefore, P is a function of s, because Rule 3 in particular was not violated. Now consider R in terms of t. According to the definition, R of t equals plus or minus 3 times t. Here, t is the independent quantity. R of t is the output quantity, or the dependent quantity. And the rule is plus or minus 3 times t. This rule sends almost all input quantities to two different output quantities. For example, if we let t equal 4, the rule produces positive 12 and negative 12. This causes the third part of the definition of a function to be violated. And we see that, as defined here, R is not a function of t. In the previous slide, we thought about functions using symbolic representations and formulas. Now, let's consider these function concepts in the context of the open top box problem that we've worked on earlier, using words. Question 1 in Module 3 Investigation 2 asks you to consider the quantities in the box problem in terms of each other. Sometimes the independent quantity will be the side length of the square cutout, and sometimes the independent quantity will be the volume. You must decide, depending on how the question is worded in the different parts. Also, you must determine whether changing the independent and dependent quantities in the problem will affect whether or not the third part of the definition of a function is violated. Think carefully about each part of this problem and be sure to use the definition of a function to support your answers. Submit your answers to all parts of Question 1 in Module 3 Investigation 2 using your instructor's preferred method by the time and date that your instructor has identified.